Hey, I'm Rebecca Gordon.
I'm Sylvia Gordon. We're going to start off talking about what happened with our alternative to AHIP called NEHU and when testing is open for this AEP, which is soon.
Soon. Stay tuned. All right, so it was just a year ago, or maybe more than that, when...
No, it was like 2 years ago. We've been working on this a long time.
You're on the board with all our other bigwig colleagues, and you guys were going back because AHIP was such a colossal mess.
Right. So 2 years ago, a lot of people lost their renewals because they couldn't pass it in 2 attempts, and it was
horrible.
A dud test, and then they lost their renewals.
Yeah, and so you guys like, hey, we're going to create something through NAHU, our voice, our insurance voice, and make it way more agent-friendly, correct?
Right. National Association of Health Underwriters. So a whole bunch of us FMOs came together and to build a better test. And
you did.
And we did. We built a better test. We made it cheaper, and we gave CE with it. And
way better.
It's just a whole better opportunity for agents to actually learn something, plus a lot more attempts to take it. And of course, we met with resistance from AHIP.
Right. Taking away their market share.
Right.
All right, well.
So I don't know what happened, but we got all the carriers to accept it, the big carriers, except...
I'm not saying their names.
Except United Healthcare and Aetna. So United Healthcare and Aetna hurt the whole agent world by this because now you can't really take, people aren't going to want to take two.
Right.
Unless you're only selling for Anthem, you could go in and take NEHU instead of AHIP, but most people sell for a variety, so they're really hurting us. So not happy, not showing great leadership there.
The fight isn't over.
United and Aetna, yeah. So we're hoping with the voice from the field that we can get this because the money will then go to National Association of Health Underwriters to help advance causes
for us,
for agents. It's our money going into this, and so we're not across the finish line yet. Not for a lack of trying from a lot of FMOs in the field, but AHIP is open. And for most people, that's going to be their only choice. Because we've worked so hard with this with NEHU, competition makes everybody better.
I love competition. That makes it, keeps it interesting.
AHIP, they copied everything. Yep. And they did a price break, they did CE, they did other stuff. They gave you more chances to take it. I don't know if their test is better yet, because I haven't taken it yet to see if it's still the same old crap. But AHIP is open.
Now, you don't want to do it on the 21st, do you?
No, because a lot of agents, younger agents, they get confused, so they just I want to get this done.
Sure, I'd be like that.
And then later they figure out they didn't get the discount, and they're trying to get that. You have to go in through a carrier portal. That's something everybody knows that's been in this for a while. But if you're new, you have new agents, make sure they don't try to jump the gun.
By going through a carrier portal, you get a discounted rate. So you don't, even though it's opened up June 21st, you want to wait until the carriers are open, go in through their site, and get a $50 reduction in price.
Okay.
And that makes sense.
Great news here.
Great news.
On our Enrollment Tool.
Yeah, we've had a lot of success with these enrollment tools. So yeah, you're going to talk about the provider lookups. It's really exciting.
No, you're going to talk about the provider lookup.
No, I'm not. This is what you're supposed to talk about.
So the provider lookup will save you a lot of time because you'll be able to go in and look up providers. A lot of people still aren't using electronic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So check out my Enrollment Tool. There's lots of trainings going on right now. It is Connecture. It is Connecture. If somebody's telling you, you got to move your contract from us to them because they have this thing, they all have the same thing. All the FMOs have the same thing.
I do love the names.
Right. Everybody branded it their own name.
Really,
it's Connecture or Sunfire. Names. We have both. You have access to both. Boom. Let's talk about this Alzheimer's drug.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't even know how to pronounce it. Aduhelm.
And I tried to look it up. Aduhelm.
So this drug is rocking the Medicare world because it's so expensive. And
it's showing positive results.
It's I think that's part of the controversy is that it does not definitively show that it works. So that's why people are saying it's got a emergency approval, but does not show that it necessarily works.
Like a glimmer of hope.
But go spend $56,000 a year on it, and then let's see if it works. Oh. So since there's 6 million people on Alzheimer's, people are hopeful. However, the cost of it is insane.
Yeah. If you look at all of these top drugs, you can see this one is between 6 and 29 billion. However, as this population continues to age, as more seniors age in, this is projected to cost over $1 trillion. So that's going to have a huge impact on your Part Bs. Because how is this administered?
So it's administered in the doctor's office. It is an infusion like the other most expensive drugs that we showed. So Eliquis, Kaytruva, Januvia, these drugs that are so expensive right here. And this is what it costs Medicare a year. Xarelto, $4 billion. And it's funny how familiar we are with the names of these drugs, because these are the hard, these are the one drug that makes the whole decision on your what Med Advantage to go with or what Part D to go with. So the problem with these drugs being infusions in doctor's office, that don't come out of Part D.
Comes out of Part B.
It's in the doctor's office. It's an infusion in the doctor's office. So if it's in the doctor's office, it's Part B.
And your Part B is going to go up.
Right. Where's this cost going to come from? Okay, so Part B is going to go up anyway because of this inflation.
Right.
So we're expecting, they already said we expect cost of living for Social Security to go up 5.3%, which is the highest since 2007, something crazy. Okay? So we already are bracing for a really high inflated.
What's that going to do to the market overall? How will that have a response like to MedSup or Advantage plans? What do you think that people will do facing this much inflation on these policies?
So because of this one drug and this huge elephant cost, MedSup companies have to respond right now. They have to adjust their pricing. So MedSup prices are going to go way up because of this drug, in which people are going to run to Med Advantage.
Yep.
But on Med Advantage, they still can't run away from it.
Because they'll have the 20%.
They'll still have the 20%,
Yep.
which they said that could cost somebody, that you're going to hit your max.
Yeah.
So the carriers have to respond on that side too. The bottom line is you're going to pay more for Part B, you're going to pay more for your Part.
It's all going up.
For your deductible, you're going to pay more for your med. Everything is going to cost more because of this drug that they don't know if it even works yet. Okay, so
stay tuned.
if it does work, I think everybody would say this is probably really good news. Anybody that's
Absolutely.
ever had somebody in their family with Alzheimer's, and it's just so bleak. But we don't know if it even works. Okay.
Well said.
Addendum. So
Good
we'll,
job.
Wait and see right now.
Stay tuned on that.
Yeah, so it's kind of depressing. How about we end on something positive?
So on great news, our partners Humana, they do a fantastic job in this market. They have come out, or I should say they're going back to old school. They have something called DispatchHealth, which is for our clients, they will send someone to their homes for urgent care related items like COVID, head injuries,
Anxiety, shingles.
and I love this, and more.
So they're going to send a nurse or
nurse practitioner
to your house.
to your house. That is fantastic. It's in select cities, select states. So who do we
Okay,
have?
so it is in Indianapolis.
So who's yours?
It is in Boise. It's in Atlanta, Colorado Springs, Cleveland, Las Vegas, Morristown, New Jersey, Oklahoma City, Portland, Nashville, Knoxville, and like all the big cities of Texas, Richmond, and all the big cities of Washington State.
You know, why would they be going to Boise?
Humana is expanding into Idaho.
Well, and also last year, I remember them saying that Idaho was becoming the #1 state for seniors to flock to.
Yeah, so something like 3,000 people a month are moving out of California into Idaho.
And that Idaho is just, it's really attracting.
Right, because people can't afford to live in California
Beautiful,
or
beautiful
Oregon.
state.
So this DispatchHealth, hopefully the other carriers, they all copy the good things,
Right.
and this makes sense.
This makes a ton of sense.
And we're excited about that. So we're going to end this show
thank you
on
for
a
that.
high note. So look out for that if you are in those markets with Humana.
Good selling. Talk to you soon.